Saskatoon. And a final chance for the top 6 teams to make a run for the playoffs on Friday. Kevin Martin got off to a rocky start. After 3 days, it didn't appear he had any hope of celebrating a third Brier. The Albertans have battled back. While the odds are long, there's still a chance. It's a first-time Brier appearance for Sudbury's Tim Phillips, and while Northern Ontario has not won often, the team has won a lot of hearts in Saskatchewan and gave Ontario a real battle yesterday. Inside beautiful Saskatchewan Place, we're ready for the final day of the round robin. Draw 15 is coming up. Good morning again. I'm John Wells along with Linda Moore, and here's what we know from the standings heading into this day. Manitoba is the only team assured of a playoff spot at 8-1, Linda.
Well, we do this every Thursday, the last day of round robin play. What can happen? Lots can happen because we have 2 games remaining for each of these teams. The interesting thing is very few of the front runners play each other, so we're going to see some spoilers out there. Who might those spoilers be? Well, as it turns out, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, and the Territories, over and over, you'll see their names pop up as to who they play in these final games. Yes, Manitoba figures into the picture, too, because they play BC and Quebec. But a lot can happen, and Alberta needs lots of help.
BC and New Brunswick need 1 win to get in. We'll watch that closely this morning. But the feature match we'll cover today, Kevin Martin of Alberta against Northern Ontario's Tim Phillips. Martin has to keep winning to stay alive.
The 2000 Ford Windstar. The only minivan to earn all U.S. government 5-star safety ratings. Because everyone loves a happy ending.
Why are you guys so upset? Because we're 6 hours late. 6 hours? Yeah, you know what? It's Max's fault. It's always Max's fault.
A whole lot can happen out of the blue. Labatt Blue.
What do you want the internet to be?
Come together!
Nortel Networks.
True Value Hardware. Roots for over 1 million Canadians who wear 2 different shoes, slide on ice, and throw stones at buttons in houses. From the regional playdowns to the Labatt Brier, we cheer them on as the official hardware supplier to curling's Season of Champions. True Value, around the corner from your house.
F1 2000 Ignites, Friday and Saturday on TSN.
Closed captioning provided by Tensor TrueFit Magnetics products. Magnetic support products may help provide relief to individuals suffering from daily chronic pain. Magnetics, available at all drug and sporting goods retailers.
The 2000 Labatt Brier on TSN, presented by Sheraton Hotels, is brought to you by Ford. For now, forever. Karcher, quality cleaning equipment. and Labatt. Good things brewing.
Saskatchewan Place has had wonderful crowds all week long at the Brier, and here we are for Draw 15. Here's how they'll match up. Saskatchewan and PEI playing for a little pride, both at 3 and 6. We'll watch Alberta and Northern Ontario as Kevin Martin tries to keep rolling along and keep those playoff dreams alive. Over on Sheet C, Ontario's Peter Corner needs a win against the Territories to keep his dream alive as well. Russ Howard can guarantee a spot in the playoffs with a win over Newfoundland with a 7-2 record. The byes this morning: British Columbia, Manitoba, Nova Scotia, and Quebec. All will see action a little bit later in crucial matchups. Time now to read the ice. Brought to you by Labatt. Good things brewing.
Hans Vutrick and Dave Merklinger, the ice makers, love these cold temperatures because this is great ice. Lots of curl. See about 4 feet of curl around the center guard, both turns coming both ways. Around the corners, no matter where you put them, you'll see about 4 feet of curl as well. If you want to come wide side around the corner guard, about 3 feet of curl. And the very nice thing with these cold temperatures, we're not seeing any frost along the edges. A little bit weight sensitive along the edge of the forefoot. This is about finish. Great finish on the curl, and Kevin Martin needs to finish it off with wins, but he still needs a little help.
Kevin Martin's team has won 2 in a row, and here they are: Don Bartlett, the second Carter Rycroft, third Don Walchuk, and Kevin Martin looking to hang around and get a shot at his third Brier win. For Northern Ontario, the lead is Dan Sauvé, second Ron Henderson, third brother Roger Sauvé, and the skip, the personable Tim Phillips, who's had more fun than many at the Brier, just having a good time being around and enjoying this. He says he'd really like to have the opportunity to come every year, just like Russ Howard does.
Well, there's many curlers out there with the dream of playing in the Brier. What a nice team, and it was so cute. We were talking to them before the game about their tattoos, and you just know all the curlers that are out there struggling for their first provincial championship feel the same way. Once you've got that Purple Heart, you want it to be there forever.
Nice way, Dan.
And we've seen the Northern Ontario guys. They have it there forever.
They have it forever.
Those tattoos we saw in the opening are permanent. I thought it was just a stick-on thing that would wash away.
No.
Don Bartlett, the lead for Kevin Martin's Alberta team.
Should be lots.
So when you see the numbers come up for Alberta, and you see that, for example, Don Bartlett is first amongst the leads, people at home are, of course, saying, so what has happened to this Alberta team? Well, they started off quite slowly. They did have a win in their first game against Russ Howard in New Brunswick. Then losses to Ontario, Nova Scotia, and British Columbia have set them back. They must get help today from those spoilers. Ice times are brought to you by Karcher, quality cleaning equipment in between the hog lines, very consistent.
Hard for line.
Big weight is 7 seconds, take out about 9,
You're losing
draw
line,
14,
guys.
and guard 15 and a half.
Just over. Losing line.
Alberta will have the hammer.
Sit. Okay, Dan.
These are other times you might hear for the perfect draw weight using different systems. The first for sweeping and the other for the full distance of the ice.
Don Bartlett's second stone for Alberta.
Hard. Oh. Light, quiet. Yep. Oh. Hard. 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 Hard.
Taking it all the way in.
Hard.
A little tap back on the yellow Northern Ontario strand.
Good shot, Donnie.
Very nice shot. That guard wasn't perfect by Northern Ontario, and a little bit of a roll. You can see that rock is quite buried. They're going to try and come through that hole.
What's that? Yeah. Just back fine. 4.
Here's Ron Henderson. Second for Tim Phillips' Northern Ontario team out of the Idlewild Curling Club in Sudbury.
How's the weight? Whoa. It's out there. How's the weight, Dan? Whoa. Close. Yep. Yep. Hurry. Hard. Right up hard.
Can they get it through?
Right up hard. Hurry. Hard. Get it by. Hard. Whoa. Whoa.
Nicely played.
Shot, Ronnie.
Now remember, in yesterday's action, we saw this Northern Ontario team. We featured them against Ontario, and they did not lie down and say, here, have a game. This is a very good team, and they very much want to win.
Big deal.
And they were doing that yesterday, just squeaking by those guards and making those nice tap-backs.
Back line, wait.
Alberta second, Carter Rycroft.
Yep. Whoa. Awesome.
As I was saying about the team, Don Bartlett, Carter Rycroft with good numbers. You'll also see good numbers for Don Walchuk. That tap will just not curl enough. It was Kevin Martin in those first 3 losses that they incurred who had the low numbers. 44%, 65%, 66% in those 3 games for Kevin as a skip. Definitely not numbers we're used to seeing for him, and that was, he'll admit, that was the main reason that they struggled early in the week.
And it's a long way back to get to 74% when you open with 44%.
He's been very good of late. You just have to wonder, of course, at this stage of the round robin, is it just a little too late? Because they do need that help.
Alberta at 5-4 needs 2 wins on the final day of the round robin, and then 2 of the top 5 teams to lose a couple of games and drop to 4 losses as well, and that can create all kinds of tiebreaker possibilities.
Close. Close. Yep.
Waiting for it to come around just a little bit. So there are 3 Northern Ontario stones in the house, but not much protection.
That thing spun in about an inch. It was out by an inch in the last turn and just spun right back into the range.
This double might get it.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't a good spot for that last stone to rest, because all the stones now are behind the tee line, and it's an opening for Kevin to get a hit and roll.
Carter Rycroft's second shot opening in. Big weight at this.
Threw it out.
And a little bit of a roll to
just control.
Remain in the 4.
Control.
Clean.
Third, Roger Sauvé.
Whoa.
For Northern Ontario.
Close. Clean. Yep. Hard. Hurry. Hard. Right up. Hard. One big jump.
They tuck it in a little bit.
Sit. That works. Good shot.
Not bad. It's interesting. Carter Rycroft for Alberta must have been a little bit outside, and his rock went very straight. That one caught the curl. They wanted a slightly different roll. Still a chance for Kevin to play a draw to the back of the 4-foot.
Alberta has
14,
the hammer in the opening end.
Same normal. Ooh.
Here's Don Walchuk.
Room. Line's good.
Hard line.
Room. Okay, whoa then. Ton of room.
Can they turn it?
Line's good.
Starting to come down.
Hard. Come on, guys. Get in there. Come on.
Not very keen in the house yet.
Keep going.
It's not very keen coming in the house.
Guys.
Yeah. Good sweeping, guys.
Good job to get it there.
Yeah, Kevin's saying that the ice is keening up, but there's still a little bit of extra pebble in the house area, so you have to really watch the rock
If you rub the guard, it's not going to hurt us too bad.
You have to keep on the sweeping. And here's that other turn coming through the hole again.
It's out there, Dan. Whoa, lots of room. Whoa, off.
Northern Ontario third, Roger Sauvé.
Right off. Nothing. Line's better. Whoa, whoa, we're on the rock. Nothing. Whoa.
Not going to get there.
Right there on the rock. Oh. Sit. Okay, good try.
You saw how Don Walchuk was playing. He is the top third at 88%, so this is a matchup we will be watching throughout the game. Roger Sauvé, still respectable numbers, but you can see the edge
I wouldn't mind
that Don
bumping that
has.
into the house. That way you make this double, we might get a whack.
Not unusual for Don to be a little higher in his hits,
try to call a line,
too.
right? We can even bump it back
well,
to here.
What a great hit, man.
Yeah, well, that's why we'll play this, huh?
Talking about getting another rock in the house for Alberta with the 3 Northern Ontario Stones, not necessarily in key positions, but they are in the house.
And there's raises on these, so definitely you want to get another one in there if you're on the Alberta side. Yellow controlling the front and the back of the house, as it turns out, with the guards and the rocks in behind the tee line.
Close. Whoa. Almost full.
Great concentration, Don Walchuk.
Hip. Pull.
Pretty nice shot.
Yeah, very nice.
Very nice. Good shot.
That's a tough raise from that far out. You're playing very wide and not quite sure what it might do.
Short's good. Up here. Anywhere in front of it.
Nice shot.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
Give ourselves some options, maybe.
Yeah. You like it? Corner freeze is perfect.
Well, you can see that Alberta has the hammer and have this one in a good spot. So what Northern Ontario wants to do is just set something in front of it and make this area for scoring much smaller for Alberta. Close down the 4-foot.
Alberta shot. Northern Ontario second. Alberta has the 3rd shot. First down for Tim Phillips from Sudbury. He struggled to try and figure out arena ice early in the week. He was telling me yesterday that it was a real learning experience to get onto the big surface for the first time, or at least in the big building.
Lots of room.
Well, we talk about it every year, and it's hard to explain all the things that happen at a Brier that experience gives you for your next visit. But that is definitely one of them, arena ice.
Sleep, guys. Later.
Hey?
He makes one of those.
Hey?
Yeah, he can't afford to run that back.
Just got to guard her up.
Well, you heard Kevin. I mean, this one is in a nice spot, but where else do you get a rock? This yellow can be easily moved up, so they're just going to protect.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin Martin up to 74%, 7th among skips, and that's something we did talk about. Not usual to be number 7 for Kevin Martin, but he's come on later in the week on a 2-game win streak here in the opening end of another must-win game for Alberta. Mission accomplished. They wanted to get another guard out front, try and protect the Alberta shot
That's the
stone.
danger rock right over there.
He puts that one in here.
Puts that in the crotch, it's for 3.
Got to block that. This is the only one.
Would it be too risky to bump this one, huh?
I was going to say, why don't we try to bump that one to the other one?
The center one?
The red one.
The middle one, you mean?
The middle one, yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you going to move it?
Well, either onto a yellow one and move the red one.
They're still shot.
Yeah, but we have to guard this center. Get rid of this.
If you bump the red straight back, they're still shot.
I don't want to just hit the yellow one into the...
Across the top?
Yeah.
Then you're opening everything up for
No, this will stay right here.
Yeah, but this is all open there.
Let's get in. Let's go in behind this one here. Let's get in here. What do you think? That's the danger rock right there. Center line?
This is the danger
Center
rock
line ice,
because it can be raised up. They said if they
Just
hit
to
it
get
in
it
the
by.
crotch, they being
Center line,
Alberta,
Rod.
this one could go back on here, and you could be counting all these points. So
it's a little
the
less.
idea is to try and guard the raise.
Yeah, just pull it in behind there.
Now remembering that's not an easy shot, but Kevin Martin, when he is on his game, loves those big shots.
So play it safe here for Northern Ontario is likely the best plan. Give them one. Or think about giving them one.
Stay close for line. Close for line.
Looking for a little protection on the second shot rock.
Just behind it. Whoa, just behind it. Whoa, just behind it. Yep. Whoa.
Too deep?
Well, we got to get...
Took it a little too deep.
No, I don't think...
It's still a tough shot for Martin,
I
though.
don't think he's even going to try it.
No, just put her on the tee line and see where it stops. It's hard to say.
Draw 15, day 6 at the Labatt Brier. Final run for playoffs. Alberta's Kevin Martin.
That's quite a bit of weight, though.
Hoping for a chance to make the tiebreaker round.
Yeah.
There's about an inch of button.
Got to move.
A side of the button that Kevin can try and hit with this draw for 2. We took lots of ice. He can't risk touching the yellow, and has to hope it curls hard at the end.
And it's not going to.
One red.
One for Alberta.
One red.
An interesting opening end on a day when Alberta has to win and Northern Ontario just wants to enjoy a morning at the Brier.
Every year about the same time, same place, it's back with a blast. Another cold Canadian winter, another frozen gas line. This winter, fight back. Fill up at Mohawk with regular or premium plus ethanol blended gasoline. The ethanol blend provides a built-in gas line antifreeze to help your engine start fast and run smoothly, even in the coldest of weather. This winter, you'll win with Mohawk, Mother Nature's gas station, now a proud part of the Husky team.
Autopro, service always first.
Pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
The 2000 Labatt Brier on TSN is brought to you in part by Husky Oil and Mohawk Retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services, and JVC, when performance matters.
Here's what we know on the final day of the round robin. Manitoba's the only team assured of a playoff spot. BC and New Brunswick need a win to get in. Ontario and Quebec need 2 wins to guarantee a spot in the tiebreakers. Alberta needs a couple of wins and a lot of hope. So let's check out the other sheets. On draw number 15, first to Ontario, taking on the Territories. Peter Corner has an opportunity here with the last stone.
Well, he does have a chance, but I've told you, Chad Cowan and this Territories team, they are going to be tough today. Don't count them out if playing spoiler. And Peter won't make it. It's a steal of 1.
Steal of 1 for the Territories. Opening end over on sheet C. On sheet D, Russ Howard is a win away from making the playoffs against Newfoundland. Howard in control with the final stone. New Brunswick after 2.
Nice little tap there in the forefoot.
And Howard takes the early lead there. 2-0 New Brunswick leading Newfoundland. Sheet A, Saskatchewan and Prince Edward Island. 2 teams with identical 3-win, 6-loss records. And Saskatchewan gets the early jump there. Back to this game. We're watching Kevin Martin battle for a spot in the tiebreaker round against Northern Ontario.
Come on, where's the big dive here? Here it comes.
I think it was a little surprised that Kevin didn't even consider trying that run back.
Okay, leave it short.
We heard him as he was walking down the ice saying he thought it was only there for 2, not 3. But still, I thought he might go for it. Tried the really tough draw, didn't quite make it. We now have 2 guards up in front, so we're going to see a few come-arounds here.
Don Bartlett.
Close. Right here.
For Alberta.
Line's good. Hurt. Line's good. Lot of room.
Wait there.
Hammer's
Line's
second
nice,
end
right
belongs to Northern Ontario.
Lots of weight still.
Okay. Oh. Everything looks good.
Oh. Shot, Donnie.
Very nice. In front of the tee line and nicely buried. Now, the only problem for Alberta is that guard, because of the amount of curl and how long it is almost not a factor. You can still tap rocks by coming around that guard.
Northern Ontario's Dan Silve.
Close.
Watch away, Tim.
Chipper.
Chipped it.
Okay, Dan.
And doesn't get it all the way.
Fight in there. Fight.
Shooter rolls and spins up. Carter Rycroft.
That's more than
The
you.
Alberta second.
Whoa.
I think it's more anyway. I
He
think
doesn't
get a good
look
angle.
old
Got
enough
no
to be
line.
curling in the Brier.
Waits there.
He's a very nice young curler, former
is.
junior, and did very well as a junior. Joined up with Kevin this year and has been a nice addition. Lots of enthusiasm, a great sweeper, and you saw how technically sound his delivery is.
Just looks a little young, but he's 22.
Line.
That's not young
And
looking.
He is very young looking, and he's wearing the Purple Heart, and what a great age to have your first experience at the Labatt Brier. And with a very nice team, and we said Kevin struggled, but this team with Kevin, Don, Carter, and Don is a very nice unit, have done very well over the season.
Close.
Lots of weight.
Okay, well.
Ron Henderson stone for Northern Ontario. Won't need any help.
Good shot. That weight.
They seem happy with that.
That's a beautiful shot. Good contact. The stone's sitting on the top of the 8-foot in a nice position.
Second stone for Carter Rycroft. Tied for second among the seconds at 85%.
Okay. Oh.
Reminder of our internet address, www.tsn.ca/curling, and you can reach us just about any time. We're open 24 hours a day, aren't we?
I think,
field your questions.
Yeah, you're sitting and watching that website for us 24 hours, I think, John.
Whoa, it's out there now. Whoa!
So thoughts or comments?
Close.
Anytime.
Whoa. Clean it. Whoa. Yep.
Vic was pretty tough on the people that sent in their poll answers yesterday, so I'm not, maybe people are a little afraid today to send anything.
I missed that.
Well, we asked which team people thought would finish first, and majority chose Manitoba, who of course are sitting at the top of the standings. And he said, that's too easy. Well, if you think it's first, don't you think you should vote for who you think will be first? You can't reprimand the people for stating their opinion.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So whatever your opinion, send it in to us at the website.
We're going to get no email at all.
That's right.
We're not careful.
No line. No line.
Look at this great curl. Comes by the front one. You can see it moving towards center. It's nosing those rocks. That's a nice shot.
Well, I remember the poll because we did this yesterday.
Yes.
To be really truthful, I think we might have asked this question a little late in the week. You know, it might have been better.
Sure, that's a point.
On a Monday or a Tuesday.
Things can still happen because, of course, in the afternoon draw, Manitoba and British Columbia play each other, and the winner of that could get first place. So there's still an opportunity for other things to happen.
You're stretching it a little bit here now. Well, as far as Manitoba's concerned, when you're asking it on day 5.
Yeah, they still look very good for first place.
Internet question brought to you by Nokia.
Right up, hard, 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 hard. Don't leave it. Never leave it. Don't leave it. Hard, 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 hard.
Now, I know there's still an opportunity for Manitoba to lose the final 2 games and finish at 8-3 and miss number 1.
By the way, John, you'll notice that added up to 101. That final one was Vic trying to get his vote in because he was saying, you can't all vote for Manitoba.
Just erase the button now, eh?
Oh, it looks like a lot of ice again.
And that's those 2 Alberta Stones at the back that are shot first and second shot. So Don Walchuk trying to cover the front of the house.
Room. Pull if you can. Wow, right off. Wow.
Won't need any help on this. At least not
well,
quite
leave it
yet.
Then. We're not racking for sure. Yeah. No.
Mark takes it into the 4.
Same way.
It didn't curl enough, and of course, if they had let it stop, it would have been okay, but it had the perfect weight for the come around, so it's still exposed, available for a quiet tap.
Roger Silve, third for Northern Ontario.
Whoa, where's the weight, Dan? Up! Whoa! Finish! Finish!
Willett. Here it comes.
Okay, Roger.
Nice shot.
Shooting, Raj. Just a difference in weight, eh?
Yeah.
The first one, the second one, it's you just throw about 4 feet more weight and it ran straight.
They're playing right down the edge of the 4-foot, so it has to be that quiet weight to get the nice curl.
Whoa!
First rock, second end for Kevin Martin. He doesn't like it.
Well, that's okay, yeah. Close. Close. I don't think it matters how hard you throw it or where you throw it. Okay?
It's interesting.
I just took a shot.
Kind of changes the whole complexion of curling, doesn't it? If you view it that way. Over on sheet
I don't
C,
think it really matters where you throw
Ontario
it.
against the Territories. Peter Corner gave up 1 in the first. There's an opportunity to get a couple back here.
little raise for the second point.
So Ontario takes the lead. 2 in the second.
Well, I'll just explain what Kevin was talking about. There is a bit of a theory that the ice is slightly dished to the center, and that means that you can probably draw from a couple of different spots, because once it catches the curl, it draws to approximately the same place, and the same with the edge of the 4-foot spot. Now, I think if you threw it hard, I still believe that if you throw it quite a bit harder, you're going to get a straighter spot along the edge of the 4.
Hurry! Hurry! Hard! Get a bite! Hard! Get a bite! Oh.
Not quite. Couldn't get it by.
Bring it up.
Despite the sweep.
Just a little soft, eh? Yeah, it's a soft.
So that opens the door for Martin here.
If I carry the weight, it's going to run. We're by the guard. Just got to throw a little more weight. You got to throw about 4 feet more weight.
Martin's final stone coming.
A little light, sir.
Well, what I was talking about is there's a bit of a belief that there's a lot of curl to the center these days, the way ice is made, which is terrific. That's what we want to see. But what they're saying is that you could start out here, or you could start out here, and you'll still get approximately the same finish to center line. So because we need lots of curl, this is one thing the ice makers work on, and they try to make it so that there's curl everywhere, and there really is. But there is a little bit of that effect where you can draw from a couple of different places. Now, the edge of the 4-foot, I still think will run straight with up weight.
Will it curl as much?
You can't say with every weight you can get
no
there.
sense over curl.
So that's the dish theory you're describing
and you
here.
hate to use that because these ice makers are probably cringing as I speak. It's not like it looks very low in the center and high in the sides. Just slight more curl towards the middle from a couple of different places.
Final stone, second in, Kevin Martin of Alberta.
Hard. Line's excellent.
He's playing the tap on his one at the top of the house.
Hard. Come on.
Hard. Just a little bump. Hard.
Work it all the way.
Geez, never die, eh?
And it dies on him.
Get in there. Get in there. I think I threw that pretty hard. Okay. Let's get rid of it. Let's
Tap
get rid of it
about
now.
4 inches short.
Before it costs us.
Kevin not at all happy
Well, you
with
can
that
afford
stone.
a little more.
Yeah, that's good there, yeah.
What to take, though? Because I don't like your 2. That thing's a dog.
Talking about the stones and the numbers down there. He's not happy with the one he just threw, and he doesn't know where to go for the next choice.
That's right. He says one of Don's is not that great either. So Kevin is a former ice maker and knows ice and stones very well, and that is something he is very concerned about. He wants good stones to throw. Well, you're facing a bundle. What do? It's a draw to the 4-foot. And he's playing it from the inside out to try and avoid any crashing on those red stones front of the house.
No options here for Tim Phillips. He needs the 4-foot.
Yep, Kennedy.
Don't use this, Dan. Full 8.
Just D-line.
Right here.
Good
Just
heads
here.
up,
You're
guys.
running out of rings, Dan. Easy, off.
That'll do it.
1 yellow. So Northern Ontario grabs 1 in the second.
1 yellow.
1-1 on sheet B. Here are the matchups. The leads. Dan Sauvé, Don Bartlett, Ron Henderson, Carter Rycroft of Alberta. Here's Roger Sauvé, matched up against Don Walchuk. And the skips, Tim Phillips, and a 2-time champion, Kevin Martin. Extended coverage. Over on sheet D, New Brunswick, Newfoundland. Russ Howard started well with 2 in the first. Rick Russell of Newfoundland has an opportunity in the second. Howard a win away from a berth in the playoffs. And Newfoundland is not going quietly, at least in the early going. Here's a shot at 2.
Russ Howard's raise opened it up, moved the stone into the open, and so that allowed that hit.
Extended coverage is brought to you by Winds Extend. For the life of your car, make it win. So it's 2-2 on sheet D. Ontario leads the way on the territories at 2-1. We've been watching that one closely. It's important to Ontario today. Our game, all even, with a hammer going back to Alberta at 1-1. And they play for pride over on this sheet. Saskatchewan leading PEI 2-1. Saskatchewan and PEI both with 3 wins and 6 losses.
Now, Don Bartlett's really having trouble with this rock. That is why in the last end you saw the rock just get over the hog line, and that is why that rock is just over the hog line. They feel it's slower than the others. And it's a struggle. It's hard to force yourself when you feel like a stone is slower than your other stone to throw it really hard. Often you can. You can throw it a lot harder and it still dies. But it's hard to convince your mind that that's something you can do.
We're really going to lose it, guys. Just over. Just over.
Heard Tim Phillips in the background there a second ago
we're going to lose the line if you do that way.
Okay.
Right now,
Kevin Martin almost had to buy the round of beer for not getting that one over the hog line.
Well, it would have been Don Bartlett, of course.
Yeah,
the
buying the beer, but
that's right.
But he said, "You guys almost."
Every time I turn around. Every time I turn around, Danny's talking to the camera. Hard.
Don Bartlett.
Okay.
For Alberta.
Hard
in a
line.
1-1 game with Northern Ontario. All important to Alberta in hopes of making a tiebreaker round.
Just tight. It's all right.
Just a little tight.
What's that? Oh, go ahead. You're a better sweeper. It's all right. What? Yeah? 2 corners?
Hit the red one.
Normal.
Well, the one nice thing for Alberta is that stone rolled into the house. That means Ron Henderson will be asked to play the hit on it. That'll open things up a little bit for Kevin. He'll have a couple more options.
Hard. Right up. Clean.
Ron Henderson.
Clean. Attaboy. Shot.
Feels it out.
It's very, very tough on your last day of round-robin play to be looking around and needing some help. And you have to focus on your games if you're Alberta. But they are really desperate for some assistance and bringing teams back to them. And hopefully for them, forcing a tiebreaker. And it's tough, too, because they are playing better now. So it's like, that old saying, only if I'd played a little better those 3 games early in the week, we would have been sitting pretty.
Yeah, those
and
ones,
in control of our own destiny.
Looks pretty good, too, when you're coming out.
Like Russ Howard is at this point, and basically Ontario and Quebec are as well. Win and
at least a tiebreaker.
And you get to the tiebreaker round.
And he's been there so many times, winning in 91 and 97, having Cohen to the runner-up position in 96 against Jeff Stoughton. I mean, it seems like he's always in the playoffs, always close if we're talking about Kevin Martin.
Right apart. Don't leave it. Don't leave it.
What was that?
Good shot. Attaboy.
This has been at least the worst start ever at a Brier for Kevin Martin when he struggled early in the week with only 1 win and 3 losses.
Hurry! Real hard, guys. Real hard to hold the shooter. Okay.
Hold the shooter that time and get a little bit of a roll to the right.
Yeah.
You want this one, Raj?
Yep.
Give it a shot. Normal?
Yep.
Roger Silva.
Go hard. Right hard. Hurry. Never leave it. Attaboy.
Back line.
Oh, my God.
Good chance here for Alberta to get a couple of rocks in a good position. They have the one on the right inside of the house that is shot rock and the corner guard up.
Hurry!
Whoa, whoa! Off!
John Walchuk Stone on the way.
Oh, we're in trouble.
Has he got it? They're worried about it.
Maybe.
It's holding the shooter that's the problem.
Okay.
And they can't.
Hey? Work up a sweat.
Yep, clean.
Just one Alberta
Just
Stone
clean.
in the house.
Yep. Yep.
Roger Sauvé
Clean. Clean.
goes after that
Good boy.
and replaces it with a Northern Ontario rock.
Shoot, buddy. Just missed the double, eh?
I don't think you could do both.
Hey?
I don't think you could do both, eh?
Well, not with Norman.
Caleb Martin's
Well,
had
yeah, you would've-
some great Brier runs. His first win in 1991. He was a very young skip in those days. Just 24 when he won it.
In 1991, he won. 92 came third. 95, third. 96, runner-up. 97, won. You just look at the string of times that he's been in contention. It's really incredible.
Coming into this sixth in Brier wins, all told. And obviously coming in with high hopes for an opportunity to be a three-time Brier champion. Well, the hopes haven't all disappeared, but
no.
He has to win them all.
Normally.
Those two Brier wins, very decisive. The team looked great, and of course a great junior player as well.
91 was as a Brier rookie skip, too, was it not?
But that was pre-free guard zone, and we all think back to a few of those events. That was one where he came in as a great hitting skip. His whole team were terrific at the takeout game, and before the free guard zone rule, we saw some of those very low-scoring games. In 91, there was that game between himself and Jeff Stoughton of Manitoba. There was a 2-1 final game, and that was during round-robin play. So since then, you've seen him, Kevin in particular, go to more of the aggressive style. We've seen him be very successful at skins play, which is a combination of aggressive come-around kind of play, as well as the big run-backs that Kevin and Don Walchuk can play so well.
Never off.
One of the guys who can and does throw the big weight as well. He's an aggressive player.
No.
It's the roll there.
Might have been able to roll to a biter over there.
Control this time, guys. Try and get a roll.
As far as Tim Phillips goes, we've been very impressed with him, and he'll look to try and be successful like Kevin Martin, of course, in the future. Kevin was instantly successful. That's a very rare thing for Tim Phillips and his team from Northern Ontario. You have to look at this as a wonderful learning experience. They've played very well. They continue to play well, as we see in this game. They're certainly going to be tough today.
They're giving Martin all he can handle at this stage.
Just clean it. Good. Right on the button. Yeah. Oh.
One Northern Ontario Stone in
Leave
play.
a little more on those, I think. Yeah. We can play a roll. Can't hold it, eh?
Northern Ontario mixed champion this year. Lost a fourth-place tiebreaker at the Canadians. Had a tough run against David McInnes in the Northern Ontario final. They had to play him 3 times. Finally won the one that counted.
Yep, hard. Hard. Hard.
Big weight trying to get the roll. No, won't get it.
So Alberta takes one.
One red.
One red. Alberta into the lead. Hammer belongs to Northern Ontario. 2-1 on sheet B as we head to the 4th end.
The world is actually made up of two worlds. The for now and the forever. In the for now, we choose the moments, the places, and the people that matter. In the forever, our paths are forged and hearts are anchored. But if you find a place where these two worlds meet, go to it. It'll give you a reason to come home at the end of the day.
As official supplier to curling's Season of Champions, True Value Hardware presents quality products for your house. True Test paint, made by us and made to last. We own the factory. We test and retest our paint. We guarantee it, every can at every store. True Value, around the corner from your house.
Pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
Next year, the most prestigious curling event in the universe will land in Ottawa for 9 unforgettable days. Be among the first 2,001 fans to purchase a full event package, and you'll receive a collector's edition Odyssey pin. Plus, you'll be eligible to win Brier clothing. Begin your 2001 Odyssey now by calling one of these numbers or visit us online. Ottawa Brier 2001. The Odyssey has begun.
After 14, here's the way it stands at the 2000 Labatt Brier in Saskatoon. Manitoba leading the way with a playoff spot guaranteed at 8-1. BC and New Brunswick still scrapping for theirs at 7-2. Quebec and Ontario a win back of that at 6-3, still with a pretty good chance. Alberta battling long odds at 5-4 to make it through to the tiebreaker round. Check out some other key scores. The Winds extended look here this morning. Ontario and the Territories on sheet C. Peter Corner needs a win.
And Chad Cowan has a chance to blank here. Excuse me, a very wide open end. This is not what we usually see from Ontario, so it'll be interesting to see if they continue to play this way against Chad. He won't quite get the rollout, so it's a single for the Territories.
Territories coming in at 2-7, so some of the teams near the bottom of the standings are making life a little more difficult for the guys trying to move on. And over on sheet D, Russ Howard, New Brunswick against Newfoundland. Newfoundland with the yellow rocks, and Russ Howard looking for points here.
And to look for points, you have to look for a raise, because in front of all those rocks, look at all the guards. And he's having to raise an opponent's rock into the pack, and it won't quite work out. Gives up as a single, that Yellowstone on the button.
So, one for Newfoundland and a 3-2 lead on Russ Howard. Interesting morning here on day 6. Kevin Martin has all he can handle against Northern Ontario in the game of the utmost importance. Simply put, Martin has to win this one.
But you know, it's interesting with those other two games being very close and Kevin needing help. This is where it's very difficult not to be peeking around, not to see how those spoilers, potential spoilers, are doing next to you.
Don Bartlett resides in Spruce Grove, Alberta. He works for the Postal Service.
Back 12. Back 12. Okay. On the guard.
Oh, my dad.
Oh!
There was pretty broke accident.
What?
You like this? This? I don't mind this, Dad.
You got a double there?
Yeah, but we can use this rock. Okay, you want to go like this?
Yeah.
Control, just control.
Nothing wrong with a double, too.
Northern Ontario with the hammer, and they were saying they
control.
could use that rock, but they're going to make a play on it now.
Dan Sauvé, the lead from Sudbury.
Whoa.
Works for the St. Albert School there.
Hit. Hit.
Looking for the hit and roll from the one Alberta Stone in front of the house over to the other.
Right on top.
It's going. Attaboy.
Very
Good toss.
nice.
Seem happy with that. Almost frozen there. Alberta second, Carter Rycroft.
Line's good.
Currently a student. Lives in Sherwood Park, Alberta.
Right off then. He's doing nothing. He's cranked the plant, eh?
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's interesting. They're talking about...
It's talking about the ice and saying that the ice makers have turned down the temperature of the brine, and that means that it's getting colder, and that makes it straighter.
Control.
Now, in the spot that they're playing, it may be, but we're going to have to watch carefully. He may be right. He may be a little colder. But it still seems that in spots we're getting the same amount of curl, because here we're seeing he's going to the edge of the 8-foot for the 4 feet of curl to center. This will give us a good idea if it's just spots or if it's all over.
His didn't finish it.
Northern Ontario second, Ron Henderson, facilities manager for the city of Sudbury. Skip Northern Ontario the 1990 mixed championships in Rimouski, Quebec.
Line's good. Wait only.
Yep. Hard. Hard weight. Hard. That's good. Hard.
Over curling.
You see, from there it's curling the same, so I'm going back to my statement before. I think you're seeing just an amount of curl from various places to get to the same spot in the house. So you can take a little bit outside the 4-foot, the edge of the 8-foot, and still get to approximately the same spot at center line. And that has been pretty typical of the week.
Alberta has the shot rock as Carter Rycroft delivers his second of the fourth end.
Great. Good shot. Wow.
Well, the story often is ice and stones, and of course, as we reach the playoffs, even more important to know what's happening, and so we'll hear from Hans.
I don't mind the call.
You know, Hans, what you've done with the ice plant this morning?
We just turned on another compressor. We're trying to keep the surface exactly the same, so we have to pull the brine down a bit, so we switched on another compressor.
What will that do, the ice conditions this morning?
Oh, it'll keep them the same. We want to try to keep it consistent. The surface has to stay consistent, so we move our brine temperatures up and down.
And why did you have to make that change this morning?
It was just getting a little warmer, so we just bring it back down for a couple of degrees, and it'll keep the surface the same.
So Hans saying that he has done what Kevin suggested, but he didn't think it would have the effect that Kevin is talking about.
Kevin noticed there was a bit of a change there, at least.
There's been a
in certain
hotline
areas.
violation. Sorry, John, just so that we're aware why they're having an official come out on the ice as we watch. Hogline violation means the shooter comes off the stone that was thrown and the rock goes back in the house. So that's a bad break
Rudy's
for
got the
Northern
record.
Ontario, and that is why the red stone is now shot rock.
Tons.
There was one of those yesterday for Northern Ontario as well. Hogline violation.
And that's one learning experience, too. Nobody likes to see those hogline violations. It's a very severe penalty, but the rule is the same, and you can get used to being clear of the hogline and not having to have the official come into play.
Whoop. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are we at? We don't want to, whoa. Oh, let it die, let it die. It might die. Whoa. Not bad. I'd like to see.
Kevin Martin's Alberta team starting to build a little bit.
Oh, even if you played a double here.
Here in the fourth end.
Go off the yellow one.
Rock removed.
Make the double. Then you roll away.
From Northern
Want to
Ontario.
reset back in? No.
Helps out a little bit.
This one? Into the yellow? Well, eventually we're going to have to get to that, so
yeah.
The double here is the best.
You still get at it. It's easy. It's easy to bump it out already. But this is the
but I'd
danger
rather
rock.
control the front.
Okay, what are you going to throw?
Nose, I don't know, peel?
Normal. Just throw normal.
Alberta in the lead 2-1. Northern Ontario has the hammer here in 4.
So this is the stone that came back after the hog line violation. This is a very dangerous rock as well, so they're going to try and get them both, run it back,
I'd like to keep our shooter right there.
And leave the shooter out here to control the front.
Yeah. We'll control the front of the range by leaving this here.
Yep.
Roger Sauvé, Northern Ontario. Looks for a couple of Alberta stones.
Stand up.
Big time weight here. There's one. And they got the second one. Out the back of the house, but couldn't kill 2. Basically hit it dead on.
Hey?
Well, this is a dangerous rock now for Alberta, so they'll try and protect.
Keep it on this side
one
of the
can
line
be
if we
raised,
can.
but it can't get at this stone at the back.
Yeah.
So it's that center yellow that is something that Northern Ontario can use effectively.
Don Walchuk for Alberta.
Much weight. Okay, whoa.
There's lots of weight
Wait
there.
for it. Where are we at, guys? Looks pretty good, eh? Okay. Line's nice.
Line's real good.
Hurry.
Hard.
Line's good, guys.
Looking to protect against that yellow Northern Ontario rock.
That's a good shot.
Right on the line, just in front of the house. And that protects the shot rock belonging to Alberta.
Well, go right to it.
Behind the tee line.
I can see the whole thing.
The draw.
Oh, yeah.
What about half the red? 3/4 of the red. Top the yellow, straight back. Take both guards off and
I can see the one right on. Played that shot about 6 times last stand here.
Which one?
Just straight back. That raised. Half raised, backline raised.
It's a day of watching
I
for Kevin
understand that,
Martin.
but you can still draw and get right to here. Like the way it finished.
Okay.
This is an easier shot?
Northern Ontario wants to try here.
And then thinking about
I don't think so.
other sheets and other games.
You can throw that just about perfect and put it right here, and then he hits some flops, and we're in big trouble. At least this way here, he's got. What's he got if you put it here?
Okay.
Hey?
Let's come around.
Try it well.
But all he can do is try and win his 2 games. And it may take until the final draw this evening to find out whether or not he gets the help from the right teams at the right time. So it's rather confusing.
What are you doing? No. Hey? Yeah, we don't make this, so he's
Alberta's
got
next game is against PEI.
He's just got to steal it, too.
You know, they talked about just about every shot you can imagine, how to run front rocks, what to do with come-arounds, but they're playing the race.
Roger Sauvé is a transit operator back home in Sudbury.
Come on! Hurry! Hard! Hard! Right up! Hard! You got it!
Have they got it? Nicely played.
Those are too heavy, though.
A little bit. It's tough to get to the shot in the first place, and they just
It overcurled a little bit for the line with that kind of weight.
That's right. That's right, Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Think there's a hole through there?
Yeah. Northern Ontario.
Is there a hole between there to get to shot rock? The question, of course, is can Northern Ontario do it?
Come around and block it, one or the other.
We've got second shot. Pretty tough hole to get through, eh? Because you know this thing will go right into the button. So.
Alberta's Kevin Martin gets set for his first shot in the fourth.
First and second shot belong to
I
Alberta.
don't know if there's a hole now. That second stone is
Put it into here.
kind of cutting it off.
Cut off the draw.
Yeah.
It's a pretty teeny
Oh,
hole.
as long as we get this in 8 foot. Hart, keep it straight.
Kevin Martin
Okay.
making
Line's
his
good.
No, line's
seventh
good.
Brier appearance.
Lots of room.
No, room.
Lots of room.
Off if you can.
Couple of wins. Big shot
Line's
coming
nice.
here
Line's.
for
Room,
Alberta.
room. Off.
Looking for the 8 foot.
Hart, now. Hart, 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 Hart. Hart, come on, Curtis. Come on, let's
Coming
go.
now.
Hart, 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 Hart.
Good shot.
And he gets the ace.
Good
So
sweeping,
that's
guys.
1,
Took
2,
its time.
3.
If I hit what I see, can I make the double?
Rocks in there for Alberta.
Anyway.
That's the order.
Good shot.
Shot.
That's why I wanted to
Can't
play
see
the
much of
draw.
it, hey?
No, we can't see much of it at all.
Big caca now.
Take that hole.
Well, I think this is the shot here. For now, as far as I'm concerned, we got to open up one side. We can hit it straight back. We can hit it on an angle. Drive it in and hope for the best, you know, like. Got him.
If you could ever catch that one thin,
you'd be good too. Which one?
If you ever catch this one thin.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, right here, right beside the rock.
Facing 3, Northern Ontario.
Just normal?
With the hammer, 2
there a hole
shots to come for Tim Phillips. But
Yeah, low
first
one.
he has to open it up a little bit so he has
just normal
any chance of cutting his losses here.
That's right. Right now he needs the ramp to get to the button. They haven't brought that into curling yet.
Yeah, the draw was the shot. Yeah, it was.
Sudbury's Tim Phillips.
Yep.
In his first Brier appearance. He runs my favorite bar in Sudbury, Mingle.
Whoa.
And he's trying to stir things up right now, getting rid of those front rocks.
I think that's a pretty impressive line. Here's the
Leave
shot.
it there, Rog. Whoa.
And maybe put too much ice in that drink. Because it wasn't what he was looking for.
Turn it
No,
in?
not at all.
Did I? So I turn my interns on? Turn the interns, float the outturns. Bad combination.
He was a little inside, is what
Anywhere
he's saying
blocking
to
the
his
hole.
third. And so now
If it's tight to
Kevin
the house, though.
put one out there and make it very difficult.
I saw something up here, I think.
Chance to protect his 3 red stones right there and make the final shot for Phillips almost impossible as he looks at 3.
Right.
Not bump anything, no. Just, I'd like to choke off that double raise.
He wants to bring it a little bit further in,
Donnie,
along that same path, but then he could protect
I'd like to
against the
choke off
raise.
that double raise, like that red-yellow raise. That's his only chance. If I can get a tuck or a little around that yellow, then I don't think he...
So just a little further than I
Shot.
telestrated, but
We can't be heavy.
even if he doesn't protect against the double raise, it's a very difficult situation for Northern Ontario.
Kevin
Line's a
Martin's
little
final
tight.
stone. The hammer, though,
Turn around.
belongs to Tim Phillips, Northern Ontario.
Where's the weight? Hart. Bring it in here, Hart. Hart. Really hard.
Martin looking to, as he says,
All right, just clean.
choke it off a little bit and make the final shot for Phillips
Hart.
even more difficult than it looks right now.
Concede one. If I hit this anywhere on the outside.
That's right, we got one. He's going to give us one.
Yeah, the double's pretty much automatic, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's go right on it.
They think the double is automatic?
Oh, boy.
Don't know if I'd actually say automatic, but
That's
there is
what
a
Kevin
double
said,
there.
though,
There
yeah.
is a double.
Yeah,
there.
but if I hit even a quarter rock, double jam, I'm rolling away. He could steal 3 easy that way. That's a steal of 3. At the very worst, he can steal 2 right here if I miss this shot.
You can't get a piece
It's
of 8
tough
anywhere.
when you're looking at giving up
I
a
guess there's
possible
no way
steal
you
of
got 2
2
out here.
as the best case scenario. Steal of 3 is is the worst, unless you make
If
this
anything, we
double
gotta try this
absolutely
because
perfectly.
This could be a bail. Like if we have to sweep it for line, at least we're counting on 2 rocks, right?
This is a first discussion.
No, it won't even. We can't even come to this one. Roger, if I throw a peel at that.
You know, if you hit a raise, that red one, just off center, that yellow's coming right here.
Could do that too. For 1. You guys want to do that against 3? The red onto the yellow for 1.
Well, how are you going to get in here?
I don't like that one, Dan. I'm not going to throw something I don't like. This one here, I like this one because you can get rid of 2 reds and give up a steal of 1.
If that yellow can get to that red, that's a shot.
Like, I mean, if you can hit this with right there.
Anywhere on the outside, eh?
That yellow's going right in the pot.
That's true, too.
I don't even think it could. You can't even lose it that way.
Call a timeout. Timeout.
Taking time now. They're allowed 2 per game.
I think that might be the only shot. Well, it's either that or get to that one.
I don't like this one, because even if I throw a perfect shot, I can roll
what I'm saying is actually only 2 shots. Like, I mean, you can see half of that.
I know you don't like it, but I think it comes right to the nose. Back towards the weight.
It's either that or hit this. Even if you hit this on the nose.
Even if I hit it on the nose, it's going to spill it in, yeah. Okay.
One or the other.
I don't want to hit that top.
Why not?
Well, because
anything on the outside?
It's possible to hit that yellow and go right there. Can you go right to the hole?
No, it's going to...
Whatever they decide, it's not an easy shot here.
No.
This is long odds to come away with anything less than.
And if you go back in
2.
the end and go back to one discussion they had, if we don't make this, we're in trouble. They could have been peeling earlier, opening up the front.
You don't like this
They
one,
tried a
Dan?
couple of difficult shots, didn't make them, and now they're in big trouble.
Yeah, they tried to open up the front a little bit too late is what they tried.
I think so, yeah.
Basically.
That one out there.
It has.
This one out here.
Well, what does that do for us? Takes away 1 and steals 2.
I can get rid of 2 of them on that one. Yeah, as long as if I hit a quarter rock, it doesn't. Quarter rock, it goes right on it. Yeah, quarter rock goes right across.
You want to? It's either that or play to win.
I don't know. Why not make the double raise for the TV crowd? Hey, everybody at home. Kirk, I hope everything's going good with the hockey this week. Hey, Lee, how's everything going? How's everything going?
Well, you know what Kevin Martin wants them to do here.
This is damage control. This one.
Try
This
the
one
big
here,
shot.
we're not, the other
and
shots,
I think
we're
he'd
looking at
smile
giving
if
up
they
a steal
made
of
it,
3.
even though it would cost him some points if, in fact, they did.
That's why I don't want to blow
They're
the
going
Make
back
it for
to
the TV crowd.
Going back to the first one that Tim Phillips wanted to play, this is not an easy double. Definitely, you can easily get rid of 1. The second one's not so easy. You have to come across at the right angle.
Final rock in the 4th for Northern Ontario's Tim Phillips. Lots on this one, looking to
get it out, Raj. Go hard.
Move a couple of Alberta stones, but the second worst possible thing happens. 2 red. So he avoided a steal of 3 and gives up a couple to Alberta as Kevin Martin moves into a 4-1 lead. We head to the 5th.
Next year, the most prestigious curling event in the universe will land in Ottawa for 9 unforgettable days. Be among the first 2,001 fans to purchase a full event package, and you'll receive a collector's edition Odyssey pin. Plus, you'll be eligible to win Brier clothing. Begin your 2001 Odyssey now by calling one of these numbers or visit us online. Ottawa Brier 2001. The Odyssey has begun.
With its built-in phone directory, alarm clock, calendar, and optional vibrating alert, you'll discover the easy-to-use Nokia 6100 series wireless phone. It's very helpful in planning your day. Nokia. Connecting people.
New McCain low-fat fries. Any good?
Good. Mom, the first time we tried them naked.
Naked?
Yeah, you know, without anything on. Huh? You gotta try it. It's the only way Frank eats them.
Honey, is that any shampoo you're using? Because it smells like, oh, Mean Gene. Didn't know you were here.
New McCain low-fat fries. So delicious you should try them first with nothing on. No salt, no vinegar.
I think she really likes me.
Of course she does.
You wish.
You love that music.
You bet.
I couldn't believe how you used to dance in the 80s. Bouncing around up here. Let's roll through what we've seen so far. Saskatchewan on top of PEI 4-2, playing for pride there. This is the game we're watching. 2 more for Kevin Martin and a 4-1 lead over Northern Ontario now. Ontario in a battle for a playoff spot, and the Territories are hanging right with them at 4-3. And it's Newfoundland leading New Brunswick in another bit of a surprise, at least thus far. 3-2 is the score over on sheet D. And back to our game.
Yep.
Tough end for Northern Ontario.
Yep, come on.
They ran out of options.
Now, that was not an easy double. He hit it too thickly. That meant the Yellowstone coming across would not move the second Redstone, but it wasn't an easy shot. And as I say, they got themselves into a bit of trouble leaving the front ones out. For Kevin Martin, a bit of a comfortable lead now. Puts the first one in. It's just biting, I think. Second one is a corner guard by Northern Ontario, so now the little tap.
Don Bartlett. Tied for first among the leads, hitting on 91% of his shots all week long. Labatt Brier 2000.
Hard. Pretty hard. Whoa. Whoa.
I'll take it right through if I'll go away.
Whoa.
Oh, you're going to be bitter now.
Dan Sauvé. Northern Ontario lead.
Whoa. All over the guard.
Worried about this being on the guard.
It's good.
Took off right
in front
away,
of it,
so
just in
it's
front.
already to center line.
Big swoop. Okay, Dan.
Hit the big swirl.
This is the Kevin Martin we know when he has a lead. They're going to try and run this now with a three-point edge, keep it as open as possible.
Carter Rycroft
Hard, guys. Okay, good.
rips that one out of there. Draw 16 this afternoon, all important as well, and we'll watch British Columbia and Manitoba 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. BC, a win behind Manitoba at 7-2. Jeff Stoughton hanging in at 8-1. Still an opportunity for BC to surpass the Manitobans.
Yeah,
if everything falls into place.
Well, if they end up tied with the same record, it goes to win-loss record against those two teams. So whoever wins the matchup, if it's BC winning the matchup, BC could have first place.
Let it swoop in there.
First and second are the ones you're aiming for, of course, with the cave system playoff. That's a big advantage over being in third and fourth.
Gets you the extra leg.
Right back, hard. Right back. It's a great shot, Ron.
Manitoba with games against BC and Quebec coming later today.
Hurry.
Rycroft delivers for Alberta. Martin wants that yellow one out of there. So Stoughton leads the pack.
Oh, man.
One loss all week.
Trouble across the sheet. Oh, yeah.
2 games to go. BC has crept quietly up the standings in many ways. New Brunswick had an early loss, but Russ Howard has been very consistent since then.
Line's pretty good. Got to come to center line. Center line it, guys. Need help? Hard. Line's good.
Ron Henderson, Northern Ontario.
Yep.
Looking for the center line, and
right up. A little bit.
Sweepers get it there.
Okay, Russ.
Trying to protect the stone in the back of the forefoot. You can see Kevin Martin looking at it to see the angles.
Hurry. Good.
Don Walchuk will peel that out just like that. He won't miss many of those, will he?
He's just a really good player for the takeout game, and it's interesting because you talk about, well, what makes him so good. His delivery is quite unique. You couldn't say that there's one thing you could pick out that makes him that good at takeouts. He's just patented that delivery and is so accurate to the broom with the upweight.
In his 7th Brier appearance, Roger Sauvé, Northern Ontario.
Just grab a piece of center, guys, if you can. Line's pretty
Kevin
good.
Martin is ready to run and hide with a 3-point lead, or at least keep it clean for a while in this end.
Attaboy. Good sweep, guys.
And Northern Ontario has to find a way to get back in.
Northern Ontario trying to set up the 2 here by protecting, waiting for later in the end to make a move and set up that second point.
Here's Walchuk's second stone. Got it, but didn't peel it off quite as quickly that time. A little thicker. Same result, however. Second for Roger Sauvé.
I talked about the battle at third, and Don Walchuk's having another great game. He's
Line's
shooting
out
84% so far, and he has quite an advantage over Roger at the moment. It's tough. You play a game like Walchuk, a game against a guy like Walchuk, and you're matching him at third.
That's good.
He rarely has a bad game.
The gang from Sudbury. Tim Phillips having the time of his curling life. Kevin Martin not so sure about the week. All smiles for the guys from Sudbury. And there's a few for Kevin Martin, too, because he's played better lately.
If you looked into the minds of the Taurus 2000 engineers, you'd see what they were thinking. Power adjustable pedals, a personal safety system with sensors that think about how to activate seatbelts and airbags. They were also thinking that a Taurus this safe should be an exhilarating ride. The Ford Taurus 2000, good thinking.
Alrighty, let's start with something easy, shall we? You ever take anything from the office? You know, pens, mugs, staplers?
No.
How do you feel about Snackwells?
So-so.
Okay, tell me what you think of these Snackwells potato thins.
Hey, they look good. Hey, these really are good. These are very good. Seriously. Honest to God.
Snackwell's potato thins. Hey, they really are good.
AutoPro. Service always first.
As official supplier to curling's Season of Champions, True Value Hardware presents quality products for your house. True Test paint, made by us and made to last. We own the factory. We test and retest our paint. We guarantee it, every can at every store. True Value, around the corner from your house.
The 2000 Labatt Brier on TSN is brought to you in part by Husky Oil and Mohawk Retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services, and JVC, when performance matters.
We're back inside Saskatchewan Place on day 6 at the 2000 Labatt Brier here in Saskatoon. It's been a very trying week for Saskatchewan curling fans for obvious reasons, but many here in Saskatchewan Place have paid their respects to the curling great Sandra Schmirler. And tonight, we have Tribute to a Champion on TSN coming your way at 7:30 Eastern Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Time as well. So 2 showings of Sandra Schmirler, a Tribute to a Champion tonight on TSN.
Never let a small thing stand in your way, 'cause the world's yours to embrace. With all your heart you must follow, keep your eyes on tomorrow, follow what's deep inside you, and do what you gotta do. Faith in you, out of all the things.
With its built-in phone directory, alarm clock, calendar, and optional vibrating alert, you'll discover the easy-to-use Nokia 6100 series wireless phone. It's very helpful in planning your day. Nokia. Connecting people.
For the times you want to get fresh and the kids are around, McCain has Pizza Premier Frozen Pizza, the taste that starts fresh with our freshest tasting ingredients. stays fresh in our Flavor Lock pack and tastes fresh in just 15 minutes. Now try our new Vegetarian, made only with our freshest tasting vegetables. Get fresh taste with McCain, even with the kids around.
As official supplier to curling's Season of Champions, True Value Hardware presents quality products for your house. Our own Master Mechanic brand is made to last. All hand tools have a lifetime guarantee on workmanship and material. Master Mechanic, your purchase of a lifetime. True Value, around the corner from your house.
Alberta's Kevin Martin is fighting for his life at the 2000 Labatt Brier. After a slow start, he has to win everything from here on in to make it to the tiebreaker round. Currently leading Northern Ontario 4-3. Following the game, we'll show you the TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Rayovac.
Our battery lasts 80% longer.
We're 81% longer.
Instead of trash talk, how about some straight talk? Try Rayovac. If you don't think they're just as good, you get your money back. You can't lose. I like that.
Our extended coverage is brought to you by Winds Extend. We're over on Sheet D, New Brunswick against Newfoundland. Russ Howard with an opportunity to move on to the playoffs with a victory over Russell of Newfoundland. It's interesting now. Howard has an opportunity for 3.
It's actually a chance for 4. He's trying to split on the front one. See, the yellow one might be a biter. You just have to beat that out for the 4 points. Oh, it won't curl quite far enough, so you're right, John. He ends up with 3.
New Brunswick taking control. 5-3 is the advantage on Newfoundland right now. And right next door on Ontario, Peter Corner against the Territories' Chad Cowan. Ontario wants to win.
Yeah, I keep saying Newfoundland and the Territories are going to play a big role today, and they are playing very tough. Look at the situation in the house. Peter tried to sit for 2. It rolls away. It's just a single for Ontario.
So it's 5-3 Ontario leading the Territories now. Ontario needs 2 wins to make it to the tiebreaker round at least. Alberta, Northern Ontario, the feature match and the most important game here this morning, because without a victory, it's over for Kevin Martin. Any hope of making the tiebreaker round?
Well, it's a wide open house. Northern Ontario getting a couple last ins, so the score is close. But I think if I was Tim Phillips, I wouldn't want to keep things open against Kevin Martin, because Kevin's team can really run with this thing.
It really is Northern Alberta, too, because Kevin is from Edmonton.
Yes.
You know, I mean...
It's morning. What time is it now here? You think
well, we've been up an hour or 2. Carter Rycroft from Sherwood Park, just outside of Edmonton.
Is that north of Edmonton?
See, now that's a tough one for me. I used to live in Sherwood Park, and I think it's east.
Okay.
It's been a year or 2 since I lived in Village on the Lake. Pretty difficult for Northern Ontario to try against this lead that Martin has. It's only 1 point right now, but Martin feels a little more confident. And he'll keep as many rocks at the back and out of play as he can.
That's right. You have to get that first stone into the free guard zone if you're in Northern Ontario and set up a steal, or at least force Alberta into a single so that you can get the hammer back and try for another deuce. Nicely set up last end by Northern Ontario, and they made the nice draw for the second point. So it's certainly not impossible. That's not what I'm saying. Just have to keep plugging away.
Tim Phillips' team is from the Idlewild Curling Club in Sudbury. Northern Ontario has 4 Brier wins. Tetley won, and We remember Hackner in 82 and 85. Al Hackner, a couple of Brier wins for Northern Ontario.
Put on the 4-foot in case Donnie misses.
Now there's humor.
When was the last time he missed? Back in 1982?
You may be right.
An early morning.
After 5 is brought to you by True Value Hardware.
Well, they were laughing about Don Walchuk, and he's playing so well, and so is the entire Alberta team down the left-hand side, you'll see. And those 2 points stolen were very big. Alberta with the edge. And if you want to know Don Walchuk's numbers right now, 88%. Roger Sauvé, the Northern Ontario third, at 73%. Now, Don may have missed a shot or two since 1982, Tim Phillips, but it isn't many.
Not very many.
And he's not going to miss that one.
No, I suppose you can look at it two ways, that maybe he's due to miss one that was said in the 4-foot.
Don Walchuk, of course, has 3 Canadian titles, having played with Pat Ryan in 88 and 89, and then, of course, winning with Kevin Martin in 97. Don Walchuk, the only player here looking to win a 4th title. We have some players looking for a possible 3rd title.
On the nose.
Jeff Stoughton, Kevin Martin, Russ Howard.
Walchuk in his 7th Brier appearance, but a 4th Brier title would put him in select company with the curling heroes of this province from the 50s and the 60s. The Richardsons are the guys who have won 4 Briers.
Good. Pull. Pull.
Talked about
Hit this one on nose.
Kevin Martin and what might have been with just one more win earlier in the week. But, well, he won his first game, as we did mention. It was really difficult to watch him at times and understand how he was losing some of the games he was, because he wasn't sharp. The rest of his team played very well in a couple of games. It wasn't absolutely every loss, but there were a couple of times when it didn't look like Kevin Martin out on the ice.
Really was struggling, and especially with his outturn early. And it happens to all of us. Good heavens, he's a player that has been at the top of his game for so long, and we expect that to continue.
Oh, right off. Touch it.
Occasionally have a little bit of trouble, either with weight or with line. And for Kevin, he seems to have gotten rid of it now.
But again, not the position we expected Kevin Martin to be in at this stage, having to win and then having to hope for help. And that's where he is here on day 6. Walchuk has the broom down. Patented Kevin Martin delivery. He has the hammer. And hopes to set up a deuce.
He'll just play this end through now that the end has been so wide open, and Alberta will move on with the hammer to the next end if they can blank. And I think you'd see Northern Ontario go a little more aggressively at those front stones and potentially add a steal.
Final stone for Northern Ontario's Tim Phillips.
Whoa.
Clean.
Here in the
Clean.
6th.
Yep. Clean.
Whoa, 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 Dan, whoa, Dan, whoa, Dan.
So Martin will look for the blank.
Remember, he did try to blank earlier in the 3rd end and
was forced to take one, or at least he wasn't able to get the roll. Last rock here in the 6th. Martin looks for the blank and gets it.
Ooh.
Staying alive. Kevin Martin's theme song here.
Yeah. Well, I thought he might
On
have
day 6, draw 15. It's 4-3. Alberta leading Northern Ontario.
Hey.
The 2000 Ford Windstar. The only minivan to earn all U.S. government 5-star safety ratings. Because everyone loves a happy ending.
Hey, I'm down here on Front Row to find out what these fellows think about Bird Plus with clean conditioning. Grant, you're about to get shampooed. Oh, all right, now just gently lower him on back now. Woo! This is Pert Plus, man. It's got water-based conditioning. Whoa! The old kind, you couldn't hold someone upside down. Changing America one frat house at a time. Woo! Yeah! So, ladies, what do you think about Jake's hair? Does it look good?
It's clean. I love it.
I bet it's manageable, too. That's Pert Plus with clean conditioning. Come on, let us wash your hair.
Well, there are only seconds left, folks, and this is one insurance bargain you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. It's $1 million in liability, collision with a $500 deductible.
I have never seen anything like it.
Life has its bumps, but you don't have to feel them. Now Midas Gold struts with R2 technology are only $79.95 each, with a lifetime guarantee at any Midas. Go smoothly. Go Midas. Life has its bumps, but you don't have to feel them. Now Midas Gold struts with R2 technology are only $79.95 each, with a lifetime guarantee at any Midas. Go smoothly. Go Midas.
Next year, the most prestigious curling event in the universe will land in Ottawa for 9 unforgettable days. Be among the first 2001 fans to purchase a full event package, and you'll receive a collector's edition Odyssey pin. Plus, you'll be eligible to win Brier clothing. Begin your 2001 Odyssey now by calling one of these numbers or visit us online. Ottawa Brier 2001. The Odyssey has begun.
Baseball's back. Jays and Phillies preseason action. TSN Saturday.
Closed captioning provided by Tensor TrueFit Magnetics products. Magnetic support products may help provide relief to individuals suffering from daily chronic pain. Magnetics, available at all drug and sporting goods retailers.
This classic Brier moment is brought to you by the Globe and Mail. No one had ever skipped both a Canadian junior champ and a Brier champ until Alberta's Kevin Martin. Then Martin followed his 1991 Brier win with his second title 6 years later. His 97 victory over Manitoba's Vic Peters put Martin among the ranks of Canada's all-time greats. Classic Brier moments, brought to you by the Globe and Mail. Well written, well read.
Martin among a field of 3, including Stoughton and Howard, who came to Saskatoon all hoping to win the Brier for the 3rd time. Martin still hanging in. Alberta at 5-4. Critical game today. Manitoba hanging in as well. Stoughton is at the top. Howard hanging in at 7-2. And a win away from making the playoffs and hoping to get a shot at his 3rd Brier championship. It's 5-5 there. New Brunswick having a pretty good tussle, Linda, with Newfoundland. You like this when they come from the bottom and make it a little more interesting against the teams from the top. Ontario leading Northwest Territories now 5-3. Our game is a 1-pointer right now. Alberta on top. And playing for Pride, Saskatchewan, and PEI. Tough start for Bruce Corty in the Saskatchewan rink on home ice here in Saskatoon.
Okay.
But even as you look across the sheets and we talk about teams not in contention, I mean, Rick Rousel on Newfoundland playing so well. I mentioned Chad Cowan and the team from Whitehorse curling well. And Saskatchewan, if you watch any of those shots over on sheet A, they're having a great game. So it's not that they're not good players. They've just had those things go wrong during the week, and they won't be there as far as playoffs go. But this is going to be a very interesting day.
And it's very difficult to get to a championship for the first time. You walk in,
We've
and
got
see
shot, but
10,000 people in the arena, and you're here for the first time. You've watched it on TV for years. It's very difficult to fit yourself right into the middle of things and get a good start.
To be instantly successful is very tough.
Kevin Martin was 91. He had a great run in his first Brier.
Having troubles here with the come-arounds. The rock's all going too deep. See the stones at the back of the house? That's not where you want them. You want them top of the 8-foot, top of the 4-foot, no deeper.
All right. Freeze back four.
Player comparisons brought to you by Ford. For now, forever.
Gee, it's unusual to see Donnie Bartlett down at 77%, coming in at 91% and being the top lead. Dan Sauvé up a percentage point from his round-robin play so far at 83. Great numbers for Dan.
Yeah, there's another good story. Rising to the occasion against the best lead in the Brier business, or at least the best lead at this Brier for Sauvé.
A little down, eh? But in fairness to Don Bartlett, he feels that he has a stone that is not matched to the other, and that makes it very tough to find draw weight.
Ron Henderson for Northern Ontario.
Good. Wait only.
This line.
Freeze it. Freeze it. Yep. Yep. Hard. Good. Don't lose the line.
Nudge the Alberta stone. At the back. Carter Rycroft.
That's lots, too.
Line's good.
He's played well in his Brier debut.
Line's going to be pretty good.
Rycroft is the only change from the 97 Brier championship team skipped by Kevin Martin.
Shot Carter.
Shot Carter. Next rock gets buttonhole.
Yep. Yeah. The freezes aren't bad for Northern Ontario who hope to steal. They're trying to protect against those red stones counting for extra points. The freezes aren't so good for Alberta, who are leaving a chance for an out for Northern Ontario.
Pretty good.
So the rocks for Alberta that are sliding too deep, those can hurt you because Ron can actually play a freeze, and they're getting awfully close to the center of that button.
Wait only up. Hard line.
So a slight advantage building for Ontario in one sense when you think that they have to steal.
Top button. Hard. Attaboy. Good shot.
Here's how the seconds stack up.
That's good.
We talked about the wonderful run for Carter Rycroft in his first Brier, and it continues. And look at that hitting game. 9 of them, and he's still perfect at 100%. Averages out to a 92% total for Carter against Ron Henderson's 81%.
That's less.
Line's good.
Needs it for weight, I think.
Line's perfect. Whoa. Room. Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Whoa. Bumping.
Little bump coming here.
Whoa.
It's a great angle as we watch it come in. They swept it to be in front of the other red stone. They didn't bounce off the yellow and leave a better shot for Northern Ontario.
Why not move this?
Just move it back.
Sit here.
An interesting cluster to say the least.
On the outside too. Okay, good idea.
Right there.
Yeah, I like that too.
Is that yellow Northern Ontario stone's second shot?
Yeah, you're right, John, it is. So the idea is to put another stone in front of this.
Even if it's just a freeze for
Then
now.
there would be a play on this one or a play on this one possible. And the yellow would be controlling the front of that button, making it tough for Alberta to get something in there.
Alberta has the hammer. Northern Ontario third,
Line's
Roger
good.
Sauvé.
No bump, eh? He's
that hard.
Hard. Need help?
Yeah, help.
Hard. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Hard as far as it'll go.
Need
Come
a
on,
little
come on,
extra
come on.
help here.
Come on.
And Skip Tim Phillips comes out
Come
as well.
on. Keep going, keep going, keep going, guys. Keep going.
And they get
keep
it there.
Keep going, keep going.
Hard. Good shot, guys.
Okay.
Drive it straight back.
Sure.
An interesting
Sure.
end
Across the
building
top.
here.
And if you miss everything, fine. Okay?
Alberta
Try to
shot,
make it, though.
second shot,
Let's try to
Northern
make it.
Ontario. And a little bit of a headache here for Kevin Martin, who's desperate to win this game.
Well, they're going to try this to run it back and get the right angle on these two yellows and get them spinning. You heard them say, if you just peel it, that's all right, but let's try to do it.
Oh!
Don Walchuk,
Hard.
the Alberta third,
You gotta go hard, guys. Gotta go hard.
all the way.
No, that was the wrong angle.
Not bad.
A lot of rocks got moving.
That was the positive thing. You're right, John. They curled too much, and instead of hitting the yellow back onto the right-hand yellow stone to get them spilling out, watch as the yellow goes back. Too thick onto that, straight back, driving things the wrong direction.
Yeah, no problem.
And the bad news
Are you
for
going
Alberta,
there? Or are
two
you
yellow
going, this
stones
might be better here.
You think so?
split
Like
either
if you
side
roll
of
here,
the
it's
house.
freezing anyway.
Okay.
You kind of wait.
So, control. Control right there.
Rolling away is a little bit better. Roll behind is just going to freeze to it.
Oh, yeah. That's happening.
Actually, double freeze is not bad if we roll behind.
Alberta has the hammer after
He'll
blanking
still
the
be way
sixth
behind the key line. If we roll behind.
and giving up 2 to Northern Ontario in the fifth. 4-3.
Yeah.
A little too close for
That's not bad either.
Kevin Martin's comfort right now, with all that's on the line for the Alberta team. Roger Sauvé, Northern Ontario.
Yep.
Sudbury team gamely fights on.
Right up. Hooray! Right up, never leave it.
That's okay.
Shot.
Play this.
That's beating
It's always tough when we talk about comparing positions because it's so tough to outcurl Don
like
Walchuk.
boards.
Roger Sauvé has played well with the hit game at 82%, but his draws have brought the total down, and Don's up to 90% now.
Board weight.
We watched this Northern Ontario team yesterday against Ontario. Seemed to be in a little better spirits yesterday. More smiles or something. Maybe right into this game right now. Thinking about what they might do to Alberta. And on the yellow at the back as well. Maybe they're just not good in the morning.
Control?
Control right there.
Because they were a lot of fun yesterday afternoon.
That's right. Maybe they were enjoying the evening last night.
Control weight, guys. Little flop. Yeah, little roll in.
Good chance here with a great roll behind that center one for Tim Phillips.
Worried looks, I'd suggest.
The hand hasn't gone the way they hoped. As I mentioned, the problem for Alberta is those early rocks going too deep, allowing the freezes by Northern Ontario. Then you're never getting anything set up. Feels like you're always trying to bail out.
Hard. Hurry.
Tim Phillips
Hard.
from Sudbury.
Lean on it. Hooray. Get it by. Get it by. Hard.
Not by. Out front. And so that's a little relief for Kevin
Am I
Martin.
throwing those too cute or what? I'm just,
never get out there.
the weight was all right? Weight's okay? Yeah.
Get to the room on your injuries.
Figures. Gee. Tight
Just
again.
a little
Tight.
inside on his interns today. I talked about it actually yesterday that this ice is great ice, but it is very sensitive to release, and that means that if you get the rock going towards the target stone instead of directly out to the broom, there's a lot more curl. Kevin Martin now playing a little tap back on that yellow rock at the back of the button.
Oh, hard. Hard. Oh, off. Whoa. Stay close, though.
Whoa. Yep.
Hard, 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 hard.
Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Can they get it around?
Whoa, whoa,
Hey, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, they've got plenty of room there.
Going to jam it on the back one. That's they're trying to avoid, but I'm not sure if they could.
Double.
Little double talk down there.
Well, we should remove one of them. Oh, yeah. If I play it thin and make it, we're buried too, eh? Yeah. Yeah.
Darn it.
Stay away from my intel. Right there. Quarter rock. Quarter rock, Raj. See the ice? Yeah.
Kevin Martin's numbers continue to rise. We mentioned that 3 of his first 4 games he was very low,
rock,
but he's brought the numbers up, and today playing pretty well, outcurling Tim Phillips a little bit. Tim struggling with that in-turn, as we mentioned. So Tim's going to the out-turn, and this is a huge shot, playing the thin double, trying to sit 3.
Alberta in the lead at 4-3. Yep. Northern Ontario. Hard. Looking for a double here from Tim Phillips.
Hurry! Whoa! 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 Right off!
Has he got it? There's 1. And 2. So Northern Ontario has the shot. Rock.
Pushed it far enough. I think they're sitting 1-2, and the rock is buried, even though it's at the back of the 4. Didn't curl at the end. They were really fooled by this. Straightened up, didn't catch quite as much of the first one as they needed to get the perfect push on the second, but it's worked out pretty well. They're forcing Kevin Martin to take his single.
He has to take 1. Last rock, 7th end. So Kevin Martin has to give up the hammer. Good. He has to get 1 here.
Whoa.
Oh, up.
Oh. Line's good. Line's
just T-line, just T-line.
Hard.
T-line.
Got backing?
Yep.
Got backing. Good.
They'll take it on to the Yellowstone if they have to for a little backing. But no, it stops. So 1 for Alberta. A 2-point lead for Kevin Martin.
Yeah, and hog line in it. Finish nice.
Yeah, needed that.
Not exactly the way he was planning to play that particular end. Alberta on top of Northern Ontario, 5-3. Drop, other sheets. Ontario against Yukon. Northwest Territories. We're in the 7th end. Opportunity for Chad Cowan here.
That's a very tough shot. You can see the red stones and how well they're protected. Look, he's trying to pick the edge of it. It looked like it would be easier to try and come to the other stone, but he tried the tough shot for 2.
Slid right by. So Ontario grabs a pair and a 7-3 lead now. And on sheet D, Russ Howard a win away from a spot in the playoffs up against Newfoundland, and it's been a tussle much of the day.
And in this end, actually, Newfoundland had a stone protected for a long time. Look at all the guards out in front. But earlier, New Brunswick got a run back on one in the house, and this is a draw for 2 for Russ Howard to take. And you're not going to see him miss those open draws very often.
So it's 7-5 over there. New Brunswick leading Newfoundland. Back to our game where it's been close much of the way. Tim Phillips has kept it interesting for Kevin Martin, who has to win this game. Martin forced to take 1 in the previous end, so he has a 5-3 advantage on Northern Ontario as we begin 8.
Whoa. Whoa, let it crash into it if it will.
First one in the house, second one a corner guard, and now we look at the stone to come to the face of the rock in the house, and still a little bit too much weight and didn't curl enough for them. Leaves a pocket for Northern Ontario.
Dan Silve, Northern Ontario lead.
A little tight. Yep, for line. Good.
Wait, sir.
Good. Whoa, then. Whoa.
The thing's rolling.
Carter Rycroft had another good day.
Curl.
After two Yellowstones, trying to drive something back and through, and he gets rid of two, and also his shooter and another red stone. But Alberta really wants it as clean as possible in there with a 2-point advantage right now. They don't like all that yellow clutter around. Bad things can happen when you're trying to win a game. And
nice shot by Carter. He got everything spilling. He throws the up-weight well. That's why he's blended in nicely with this team. You have Don Walchuk and Kevin Martin who throw accurately right at the broom, get things moving. Well, Carter did just that with that nice takeout.
A little tight.
Second for Northern Ontario, second Ron Henderson.
And it just shows how tough it is. And we talk about putting stones in play.
Leave it higher, Tim. Leave it high.
Against Kevin Martin, you have a lot better chance if you can get things around guards than if you play freezes, because they are so good at moving granite out of the house.
Not the desired result there.
That way?
For Northern Ontario.
Okay. Oh, we have to. Yeah, we could jam this, so that's no good.
Stop the nose.
Whoa. Whoa.
Tried the double peel, won't quite get it.
So the one Alberta stone out front, and one just nibbling the rings on the right.
Come on.
Lots of hard work on this one.
Come on, it's fine. Come on.
Roger Silve shot. Can they get it by? No.
Okay, Roger.
Just can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Just throwing those later. Huh?
Down the middle more, it's heavier.
Yeah, a little bit. All right, guys. Run it, G.
Just talking about the weight, and it's true. We talked about the curl earlier. The probably slickest path and most curl is from the edge of the 8-foot into center line. That's where you get the best feel for the weight. It's been very consistent. And that's the path that Don Walchuk is throwing down to come around that front rock.
Let it go.
Watching it closely.
Here it comes. Okay, whoa then. Right in the 4-foot. Hard, come on. Hard.
Taking it back to the 4 if they possibly can, and they get it halfway in the 8.
What are we?
You're just going to roll in the open.
Raise it in the corner? Either that or bump ours in the ring.
Either this, Raj, or you bump that yellow one back here.
Bump ours behind the corner.
This is a setup shot, playing to the face
I like
of
that.
it.
You like that one?
And rolling away
Bump
to
it
a
in.
corner, sets it up, but also possibly gets a stone in good scoring position and forces Kevin to make a good shot back. So they've decided on that raise.
Line's good.
Roger Silve, Northern Ontario.
Whoa.
Center.
Whoa, no, right off. Right off.
Will it come over enough?
Let it finish. Whoa, whoa, whoa!
To tap this Yellowstone back.
Yep.
Come on, get it on.
We'll get it on.
Good shot. Attaboy.
That was the angle they really had to approach it on.
Yeah, forces Kevin now to make a play on it because it is a potential counter, and that means if he doesn't get a roll, the red stone in the middle can be attacked by Northern Ontario and get a roll behind the card. So Kevin will make a play on this, try and get a little bit of a roll, but that one now is exposed for Northern Ontario.
Kevin Martin.
Yep.
Alberta took one in the previous end, so the hammer belongs to Northern Ontario and Tim Phillips. Martin goes right after that stone and
nice roll out there.
rolls his shooter into the 12.
Not the worst situation.
No matter what,
Pretty good shot. Remember the high.
Alberta
no,
up
I'm just thinking, no matter
by
what.
a couple.
I guess if you roll it here, he picks it, then you got a blank. Or is this in?
That's in. That's not even a question.
Okay.
We
No,
can draw
I'm just thinking
too.
that's another option there.
Let's draw.
But he's got that jam again, eh?
Yeah. I just hate to hit, you know, you try and hit the roll and you show him a piece of rock, he picks it. I can't blank the end. I'm drawing for one. I might as well draw now.
You can put it there.
Let's draw.
Or
Decision made. Oh, hang on.
No, even's no good. You got to be right
too
here.
soon.
There, yeah. Right there, Raj.
I thought they'd made the final decision, and maybe they're back to that now.
Well, you heard a lot of comments. They're going to end up drawing over here. The first comment was to hit this and try and roll, but if you roll this way, Kevin Martin can play a raise on this one, and they even talked about if they get a roll over here and leave a corner, he can pick it out. It's just a tremendous amount of respect, of course, for their opponent, Kevin Martin, and just saying that probably going to have to draw for a single. Let's try and get one in there now. See if we can come up with more than a single point through this end.
Tim Phillips out of Sudbury.
Onto room. Let it move. Let it bend.
Oh,
skipping Northern Ontario, making his first Brier appearance.
Whoa, wait for it.
Right off.
Right off. Get ready.
Right off.
Ready. Yep. Whoa, whoa. Yep.
And they get it around.
Yeah.
Looking to draw.
Right back, right back, right back.
And they tuck it into the 4.
Good sweep, guys.
You see the same dilemma exists now, though, of course, that Kevin can run his own back.
Well,
shot
might be too easy.
Yeah. They talked about how they didn't want to leave something like this. The only good thing is the shooter would roll over a little bit and leave an opening for a draw for the last stone.
Yeah, I don't think that outside is. That's pretty easy.
Well, Kevin has to go after the yellow stone.
Playing the run back.
Hard.
Red on yellow.
Never off.
Hard. Really hard. Really hard.
Runs it back. Lost the shooter. Almost.
I want to hang that stupid thing. Yeah. Good sweeping, you guys. Shot.
It was important to save
knock this stupid thing out.
Yeah, it's important that they didn't roll out and leave a situation where the blank was possible. So a nice shot by Kevin. Great sweeping is what he said, to hold it long enough, because look, the shooter jammed and stayed in the ring.
And they had to save it there on the side.
Forces Northern Ontario to draw.
No other option. 2 red stones in the house for Alberta. And that'll get the hammer back for Kevin Martin. At least that's his hope.
Save his orb.
Well, he'll take the hammer or the 2 if Phillips can't hold this.
It's not a good sign when the sweepers drop off like that.
Oh. Right through.
Jeez.
Still trying to figure out the ice. Tim Phillips put one right through the house and hands 2 more points to Kevin Martin. Brier rookies have a tough time sometimes.
How the years they fly by, fleeting glimpses, moments in our life. Gotta hold on to them, catch them while you can. These are the moments, these are the moments. JBC holds the moments of our lives.
The world is actually made up of two worlds. The for now and the forever. In the for now, we choose the moments, the places, and the people that matter. In the forever, our paths are forged and hearts are anchored. But if you find a place where these two worlds meet, go to it. It'll give you a reason to come home at the end of the day.
Paper, we've seen a generation of women aspire to compete at the Scott Tournament of Hearts. And we've had the privilege of being there from the start of some amazing careers. Join Scott Paper in our continued support of future champions. Look for the Scott Tournament of Hearts logo on every package of these fine products.
There's more to crispy flavor in our bite-sized taters.
It's time you tried McCain Tasty Taters. Baked so they're crispy and golden brown on the outside to capture all that tender potato flavor inside.
Crispy bite-sized taters that lock in all the flavor.
Mealtime, snack time, anytime. McCain Tasty Taters now come in 5 crispy bite-sized flavors.
Try your favorite flavor in our bite-sized taters.
McCain Tasty Taters. Crispy flavor in a bite-sized tater.
One unscheduled stop. Half a kilometer for help. 3,000 tons of trouble. No time to spare. Too late. Equals one unknown IOU. For all you do, this bud's for you.
Kinds of smiles in and around the circles on our curling tour. This key shot is brought to you by Husky Oil and Mohawk retailers, leaders in fuel, food, and services.
Well, for Tim Phillips, it feels like nowhere to hide, because wherever you put your stone, it looks like Kevin Martin can get at it, and get at it he did. Didn't make it exactly the way he wanted, but the shooter did stick, and that meant it was a draw for 1 for Tim Phillips. But unfortunately, he was heavy, and that meant it turned out to be a steal of 2 for Alberta.
And a comfortable lead for Kevin Martin at 7-3. We've talked a lot about Martin having to win this game and also his next game, and then hope for a little help from some of his friends, or at least some of his opponents, to drop down to 4 losses. And for Tim Phillips, a little lonely out there right now after putting 1 through the house.
Good throw.
Ron Henderson looking for the corner guard. All you can do is hope for a no-hit or a miss from Alberta and use these corners to come around.
And Alberta hasn't missed many in this game. Team on a mission after finally finding the right approach to the Brier this week. We talked about Alberta's slow start. But there's still hope. We're saying there's a chance. Maybe long odds, but there is a chance. Carter Rycroft.
Probably one of the best chances for Alberta is to hope for Nova Scotia now. Nova Scotia, a fine young team skipped by Sean Adams, and they go up against British Columbia and Quebec. Quebec also faces Manitoba. So those are the kinds of hopes that Kevin Martin has to stake his Brier on. Somebody else doing the work for him, and he winning both this game and the one he has remaining.
Line's pretty good.
Wait, all there. Hold it.
All there?
Can you clean it?
Two Yellowstones belonging to Northern Ontario set up on the corners.
Still room.
Clean it then.
Whoa, off.
Over on sheet D, New Brunswick against Newfoundland. Simply put, Russ Howard needs to win today, and he'll be into the playoffs. And here's Howard's shot.
And he sticks it for 3, and that game is pretty well over. Russ will be able to run, I'm sure, through the 10th. So Rick Rousel giving him all sorts of trouble right up
all
until
the way
that end.
to that particular end right there. That shot there put it away for Howard. Well, I shouldn't say it quite that way, but at least makes Howard feel a little comfortable coming home now with a 4-rock lead. 4-shot lead. Oh. Wow. 7-3, Alberta leading Northern Ontario.
Yeah, so he's going to go after open?
Then we go put 2 behind the corner, yeah. And then we guard it.
Lots of room.
Roger Silve.
You got
lots of room. Way out there, way out there.
Just clean, Dan.
Lots of room. We got a ton of room there.
Just clean, Ron. Go right to the back. Go right to the back. Right to the back.
No double wall. Leave it high.
Where's
Whoa.
the finish?
Leave it there. Sit. Okay, Roger.
A little frustration setting in for Northern Ontario. Likely here in the back.
Well,
they'll hit and stay. We'll roll that way.
Don Walchuk to deliver.
Hurt. Oh. Hurt. 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 Good shot.
Walchuk clears another Northern Ontario stone out of the way. Sheet C, Ontario and the Territories. Ontario a couple of wins away from clinching a playoff spot. Peter Corner.
Up to this point, Peter had been very good with the hammer and scoring, but he gets a tick on the shot stone. It won't roll far enough, and that is a steal for Chad Cowan from Whitehorse. And they're trying to hang in there. Need a steal of 2, of course, in 10 in order for the Territories to take that to an extra.
Hard, Dan, hard, lean on it, guys. Hard, hurry, hard, right here, hard. Don't stop.
Take it all the way.
Attaboy.
And
nice shot.
Avoid the jam on the Yellowstone at the back. Just slipped by there.
a little too far, yeah.
Oh, boy. Good try. Thought you had a pistol there.
Oh.
Tim Phillips. Still wondering about the draw that he slipped by on the previous end. Gave Alberta 2 more.
Now, for a lot of people, this Brier is about the one that got away. One shot here, one shot there, and it could be a totally different story for a lot of teams.
Including Kevin Martin, who's still scrapping right to the bitter end.
but has to hope for a little help. Jeff Stoughton of Manitoba is the only team to have clinched a playoff spot. BC and New Brunswick a win away. Quebec and Ontario need 2 wins to guarantee at least a spot in the tiebreaker, and then Alberta, as we watch here. And there is Guy.
Guy Hemmings, of course, a very popular player. He is so great with the fans. Even when he was making his great runs at the Brier the last 2 years, he had all kinds of time for the fans. Sat in the stands during some of his games off to talk to people. So he's here probably to cheer on Francois Roberge and the team from Quebec, who are showing a beautiful, beautiful game. Great technical ability by that team from Quebec.
Let it curl a bit, Dan.
Look at Guy Hemmings and the crowd around him down there. He's like a rock star.
You can go now.
And I guess last year at the Brier, he was a rock star.
Wow.
Got the hair for it, the leather jacket, looks the part.
Okay, good sweep, guys. I should have went full 8. I'd be drawing on my second one, not hitting, eh?
Okay.
Should have went full 8.
7-3 Alberta leading Northern Ontario in this game. And critical for Alberta to hang on and push its record to 6-4.
Clean.
Hard.
Yep. Hard. Hard. Really hard. Hard. Right off.
Okay. No 7-4 team has missed the tiebreaker round since the Page system and the 14 playoff was instituted, but mathematically there is a slight possibility that it could happen this time, the way things are shaking down.
That's right. In previous years, though, we have seen records, great records, that have been tied at the top, and 7-4 wouldn't have made it. One that comes to mind is 1993, I believe, in Ottawa. 4 teams tied with the same record for first, which involved a very difficult tie-breaking process to see who was first, second, and who was playing for that third, in that case, playoff berth.
Okay. You sure?
So there have been other years where it's been tough to make it with 7-4, but then there have been years where 6-5 would get you into a tiebreaker.
This is what they're laughing about.
Oh, is that what they're
laughing about? 7 wins usually get you at least to the extra day, to an extra
Kevin, what do you think, buddy?
I like that.
Draw for 2 for Tim Phillips.
Are you on air or what? No? Hi, everybody at Diamonds. Good to see you, Sunbury.
That sucker doesn't walk on.
No, that's a real one.
Northern Ontario team has tattooed the Labatt Purple Heart on their arms. And I thought it was
that is a neat idea.
One of those ones you could wash away, Linda, but that's there forever.
One of the guys.
A reminder of Northern Ontario's and this Sudbury team's first appearance at the Brier.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Get all of them.
Thanks, man.
Purex has gone to great lengths to give you a longer-lasting bathroom tissue. Purex Double Roll. With twice as many pillowy soft sheets on every roll, it takes forever to run out. Purex Double Roll. Pillowy softness that lasts twice as long.
Here's what happens inside high horsepower engines. They get hot. Hot enough to turn firemen into ice cream truck drivers. You don't play with heat like this. You get Quaker State High Performance, a synthetic blend for high horsepower engines. It's been tested. Actually, it's been barbecued. For pure maximum protection, nothing's better. Quaker State, sensible technology. What more do you need to know?
With a pair of boots. Kodiak boots, actually. And it just grew from there. It grew from boots to shoes. From shoes to clothing. Everything to dress you up or dress dress you down. Oops, not that far down. You could say that wearing Kodiaks has taken on a whole new meaning.
This classic Brier moment is brought to you by the Globe and Mail. They say you have to lose one before you can win one. Just a year after losing the final to Alberta's Ed Lukowich, Ontario's Russ Howard wins the Brier, scoring 5 in the 10th end to beat BC. Howard would win a second title 6 years later in 1993 to accomplish the double. Classic Brier moments brought to you by the Globe and Mail. Well written, well read.
And Russ Howard will get another opportunity to win the Brier. Taking a shot at his third after a 10-6 win over Newfoundland.
Oh, yeah.
So Howard is into the playoffs for sure.
We got to play right away, so. Oh, you're going back on at 1:30? Yeah, I'll probably stay here.
Ontario's Peter Corner has an opportunity to get to the playoffs after a 7-6 win over the Yukon Territories. Corner needs one more win to at least guarantee a spot in the tiebreaker round. So two teams, or at least one team, a win closer to the playoffs. And Russ Howard of New Brunswick is there.
And not necessarily good news for Kevin Martin, of course, although we still have an opportunity later in the day to see some things happen. Kevin Martin looking like he's going to win this game, but still needing help from some of his colleagues here at the Brier.
Martin takes on Prince Edward Island later this day. It needs one of the teams in the top 4 to drop back to 4 losses for him to qualify for the tiebreaker round, providing he wins this game, finishes off Northern Ontario here, and beats Prince Edward Island later today.
Still good. Room. You got room. 4-footed. Anything on the 4 anyway. Right on the pin. 4 foot. Yep. Right up, right up.
So Kevin Martin will try and keep it as tidy as possible.
Clean. Throw it on.
Don Bartlett peels off that Northern Ontario stone,
Ron?
leaving one.
Hog line violation. It's the only way to get back in. Yeah.
One Alberta stone sitting at the top of the 4.
That's tough. Steal of 1, we say, is something that's quite possible because, of course, you get that chance to put up the front rock with the free guard zone rule, but anything else, 2 points and more, stealing is tough.
Oh. Well, how are we going to get that to center now? Looks light.
Wondering if this is a little bit too light.
Center line anyway. That's good.
Okay, leave it there now. Okay, Ron.
Updating the standings, New Brunswick moves into the 2nd spot. 8 wins, 2 losses. Manitoba, a playoff spot guaranteed. And Russ Howard of New Brunswick has a spot as well after 8 wins.
What's the judges at? A little more weight, I think. Not bad.
Northern Ontario.
Come on,
The longer the better, Dan.
2 wins, 7
longer
losses.
The better.
So far.
Line's good. It's good. Goodbye, Ron.
Well, they're doing all they can, putting up those front stones, protecting the one in the house, but you need a complete miss.
Down by 2 coming home.
Complete miss is tough.
Without the hammer. Tough to steal, too, as Linda points out. Draw 16 just ahead.
Here.
Ontario takes on Newfoundland. Quebec meets Nova Scotia. That game will have implications for Friday. And the game we'll follow is Greg McCauley of British Columbia against Manitoba's Jeff Stoughton, and the most important game on the next drop.
It's a good line. A little bit. Yep. Yep, a little bit, guys. Okay, that's good. Shot, Raj.
Martin trying to run Tim Phillips, Northern Ontario, out of Stones. He has a 2-point lead. Kevin Martin. Don Walchuk is ready.
Clean.
Number one among all thirds so far this week, curling 88%. And that's not highly unexpected. Sauve, Northern Ontario. That would be Roger Sauve, the third.
A little bit. Yep. A little bit more. Get it to center, just to center. Okay, good. Nice shooting, Roger.
Interesting this afternoon, McCauley of British Columbia was snuck up on the leaders this week. Jeff Stoughton of Manitoba has led the pack pretty much all the way.
And it is Manitoba that can really lend a hand to Kevin Martin if they can knock off BC and drop them down. And as I said, Nova Scotia being another key player in all those matchups later today. So that will be interesting for the battle for first, but also people like Kevin will be watching that game pretty closely.
Follow my base.
And Kevin Martin has one game to go after a rest this afternoon. He'll meet PEI tonight. Couple down coming home
Gotta
against
pull that one to center if you can.
one of the great teams in the country. That's what faces Tim Phillips. He doesn't have the hammer. 2 down.
Yep. Yep. Gotta hide it a bit.
Coming home.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Good sleep, guys.
The rest of the games on draw 15 have all wrapped up. So we're just watching the final couple of stones here. Martin for Alberta. The high hard one.
Didn't quite get the double, but now nowhere to hide for Tim Phillips and has to put it into the house and leave Kevin Martin an open shot.
Same ice then. Or a little, yeah, that's good.
Russ Howard, a happy guy, moving on to the playoffs for sure.
Well, any
Howard got his 8th victory of the Brier a few moments ago, making a record 10th appearance as a skip. And shooting for his 3rd Brier title.
Right to the nose, Dan. Right to center.
Final rock.
Whoa.
For Northern Ontario.
Bend a bit.
Whoa.
It's got to bend.
On its own.
Yep, now.
On its own. Leave it go. Let it go. One of that thin as
Sudbury
possible.
team needs 2 to tie Kevin Martin. Well, it'll make him make the shot.
That's right, just has to eliminate something.
Make some contact.
Get rid of one is all Martin has to do to post his 6th victory.
Hart.
Remove one Northern Ontario stone. He gets them both.
Thanks. Good luck the rest of it. Carter, good game, buddy.
So Martin is
Good luck
alive.
Kevin, well done. Good game, buddy. Good luck the rest of the way. Hey, guys, good luck. Yeah, good luck to you. I hope you get the...
Still long odds against Alberta, making it
Thanks. Good luck, Pete.
to the playoffs.
Hey, guys.
But when there's hope, what the heck? You might as well play out the string.
Hey,
Kevin
guys,
Martin?
it's still hope, yeah.
There you go. Still hoping Alberta over Northern Ontario, 8-5.
Every year about the same time, same place.